everyone, my name is Karen Jacobsen, and I'm going to be teaching the course on forced migration in the spring this year. I'm delighted to have you listen to a little bit about what the course is going to be about. It's all online this year, but it is going to be a hybrid course, so we're going to have a few classes that will meet in person, but of course everything will be streamed as well, and we will make sure that if people are online and we're meeting in person, that we'll find ways to include you fully. So let me tell you about the course. What we're going to do with this forced migration course is it's in basically two parts. The first part is that we'll give an overview of the scale and scope of displacement, of forced migration in the world today, both internal displacement and refugee movements and returnees, other kinds of movement, forced movement across borders. In the beginning, we're going to look at the causes of forced migration, including conflict and persecution, the definition of refugees, but also other causes that force people to move: advanced capitalism, climate change and environmental destruction, religious and nationalistic extremism. So we look at the causes and theories of migration. Then we focus on the humanitarian and human security consequences of forced migration, including the impact of migration for cities and for host countries and for returning countries that are experiencing return movements, and also the impact on people, on how refugees and internally displaced people and returnees, trafficked people, how those people are themselves affected by displacement, and also how their communities are affected and impacted, and also how cities are impacted. So the first half looks at causes and consequences. Then the second half of the course focuses more on global governance and the international legal framework and state-level policy and program responses. So we're looking now at how the world and states and communities and people themselves respond to the experience of displacement. So we're looking at what exists now, the existing international legal regime dominating forced migration, and also what could happen in the future. So where are we going with all this? What are some changes that are coming down the track? How are different countries' asylum and refugee laws and institutions changing? And what is the international response to all this too? Then we also look at, in the second half, we look at how forced migrants themselves, refugees and others, and their diasporas, as well as the host populations amongst whom they live, how this group of people have responded to displacement, how they've adapted and resisted and redefined their experience in the face of this of displacement, and how they have come up with solutions in some cases, or not solutions in others. We particularly look at some critical issues in this regard. We're looking at what happens in refugee camps and IDP camps, the relationship between camps and cities. And we're also looking at what we mean when we talk about resilience. What does resilience mean? How can we support it? So what do we mean by social resilience, by psychosocial and even spiritual resilience? How does that work? And how can we, as non-displaced people in most cases, how can we support people's resilience? So that's an overview of the topics that we're going to explore in this course. And we're going to explore that, but also we're going to explore that ourselves as a class, but I'm also going to bring in a lot of guest speakers. And we have a good network of people from international organizations, from advocacy organizations, from refugee organizations, as well as some interesting academics. And we're going to make sure that they are sprinkled through the course in an interesting way. So let me talk briefly about the course requirements. There are two main projects. The first is a team project in which we will develop, or we will create class teams, or you will create them yourselves, that will identify a particular problem that we have talked about in the course, and then come up with a solution or a program or policy or advocacy idea that addresses that problem. And then you will be asked to pitch your solution to the class. And in the past, we've done this. It's been really fun because it's like developing a little business plan or business idea that you're going to pitch to the class. And in the past, what we've done is we've supported the winning two. The class will then vote on the last day of class. The class votes on these different presentations. And the top two winners will get to be supported, so they will actually carry out their idea. So that has been really fun in the past, and I'll bring in a few people who are actually in the process of implementing their ideas to talk about that. So that's the team project. The other main course requirement is the writing requirement. And here we have two options. One is what I call the analysis series, the forced migration analysis series. And this option gets you to utilize different writing strategies so that you engage with different audiences. So you get to do a couple of op-eds, and you get to do a policy brief. These are very different kinds of writing. And of course, we'll do some training on how to do that. So that's one option, the analysis series. And the second option is to do a straight up research paper, where this is for students who want to do maybe a capstone in this topic, or write a research proposal. And it's a traditional research paper of maybe 20, 25 pages focused around a specific question, and probably with a case study as well. So those are the requirements, in addition to, of course, a lot of class participation. That's going to be a fairly significant part of your grade, because we really want to hear from you, and we have different options for how you can participate in class. So that's the course basically in a nutshell. I'm very happy to hear your questions, or you can email me. Our teaching assistant for this course is Hallie Westland. Normally she would be with me on this video, but she's not able to join today, but you can certainly contact her or me, and the syllabus will be available in the next couple of days. Thank you. I hope to see you in class.